Tonight, my guest is Miss Pamela Johnson. I'm super excited to have you, Pamela, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. I'm going to share a short bio or just a little bit of information, not necessarily a bio, of Pamela to give you some background on her, and then I'm going to open the show and allow her to elaborate and share some pretty cool stuff with us and experiences that she's had throughout her life. So Pamela incarnated in 1956 and was born in the state of Massachusetts. Sorry about that. I get tongue tied a little bit. Pamela's had contact with the spirit world her entire life. She's had UFO experiences and anomalies that she'll elaborate on throughout the show. She is an ascension coach and teacher and has been on the circuit for several years, sharing information to share awareness and offer spiritual guidance and support. She has been doing this for 33 years. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you again for joining me and
Thank
our
you for
guest.
asking me.
Yes, it's super exciting. I can say that I've been connected with you for probably a couple of years now, and your posts on Facebook and the information you share. I've listened to a couple of your interviews with Todd Medina, and I've always been fascinated. And more importantly, your energy has always lit my heart up. I mean, I feel very lit up and excited when I read your posts and the information you share. And I know that if it affects me that way, there's so many other people that really see you as a huge light in this world. And I appreciate you and I want you to know that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So
Then my job is done.
yeah, you are doing it,
Thank you.
just being you is really
Thank you.
so much. It's helped so many people. I see it in the comments. I read your comments in your Facebook when you post and stuff, and I know that a
Love
lot of
the
people feel the
comments.
same way. So
I love the comments because
yeah,
that's where it's at, where we're sharing together. Now, people are asking me how to get on. Is there a Facebook Live?
there is a Facebook Live. Katie, is the Facebook Live going?
Yes,
You
it's on.
there?
Oh,
It's
my
on.
computer's real fuzzy, huh?
No, it's okay. Katie, do you got the Facebook Live going?
It's on.
Okay. So how do people find her? Because she's got guests that are wanting to support her. And
They need to go over to the Soma Fusion Media LLC page on Facebook.
okay,
Okay,
so
let me get
Soma
there.
Fusion Media, can you tag both myself and Pamela so that we
I,
can
I
have
can
it playing on
I
our pages?
I can send it over to you in Messenger, and you're gonna have to forward it over to her.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. I appreciate your patience, everybody. Bear with us. We're trying to get everything
No
up and
time.
going.
There's
Well,
no time. We're all good. Okay, I found Soma Fusion.
nope, I've got you right here, Pamela. I just sent it to you on Messenger. You can share it with others. I'll send it to Miss Maureen for you.
I want to share it on my Facebook page. So,
Yeah, we're live.
yeah.
We are live. So here,
All righty.
share it with Pamela. Others, I'll send it to Miss Maureen. Okay, I
I'm
just
gonna
tagged
share it.
you with it. Did you find it?
I found it. And
We're live.
just taking a moment, and posting it. Okay, I think we got shared.
Okay, we should be good now. Yes,
I think so.
everybody's good. Okay, so let me go ahead and well, I won't reread your bio. I'll just open up the show,
Uh-huh.
Pamela, and allow you to share a little bit about yourself, where you come from, the different experiences you've had throughout your life, what has brought you into the circuit of the spiritual communities and sharing your experiences and so forth. where are you at with your own development, your own experiences, and what are you doing now besides, which is a huge value to all of us, the posts that you share on Facebook and the connections that people have with you. I know for me, I mean, we just met finally face to face after several years of me following you on Facebook and learning things from you. But it's an honor and a pleasure to have you as my guest. So if you'll just share for those that don't know who Pamela Johnson is, what
Sure.
is your, please share with us
All
whatever
right.
you feel your heart. Yep.
Well, it's been an interesting day trying to kind of figure out who Pamela Johnson is. And, you know, the conclusion is for the last couple of years, I've really let go of a lot of identity with my incarnation as I am expanding into my full role, right? So it was a trip actually to remember things and you know how the universe is. The universe gives you things to do that kind of helped me bolster up my hey my
Yeah.
kudos, you know? I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, I have been really, really busy all my life. Really, really busy. And even the littlest things I was reflecting on, like each of my careers and what there was no mistake about any of them. Not any of them. They were all like ball busters. They were breaking down boundaries and opening up the world to entirely new paradigms, each one of them. So, well, for me, and then that also changed the template for the collective.
Sure. Okay. Can we go back a little bit just to
You
give?
can do anything,
Okay.
please.
So you were born in the state of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
You've been connected with the spirit world your entire life. Can you
Mm-hmm.
share some of the experiences that you remember as far back as you can remember that led you
Okay.
in your life to, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
This part of my childhood I can remember. There are parts of my childhood I can't, but
Okay, fair enough.
early on, my mom was obsessed with UFOs
Okay.
and going UFO hunting. And, you know, as long as I can remember, this was an obsession of hers. Now, in retrospect, of course, she has been on ships. She made a contract to bring me in.
Mhm.
And this would be the same template, if you will, for all of the forerunners or the way showers
Okay.
that have incarnated to be way showers of this evolution of planet Earth.
Okay.
So the mom makes the contract. Unfortunately, the mom can have great difficulties with it because she doesn't remember, just like we don't. We're born, we don't remember what agreements we made.
Mhm.
So she had a difficult life, which made my childhood quite difficult as well. So at a very earliest age, I had an invisible friend from Alpha Centauri living in my bedroom.
Okay.
And I was young, maybe five. And we would have these long conversations. Wish I could remember them, long conversations. I do remember a song we used to sing together. And when I went to first grade, this being went to school with me. And I would sit and talk. You know, the teacher would be trying to teach the class. And I would be telling this little guy from Alpha Centauri, well, that's how they teach it on Earth, you know, and she would get a real kick out of it. But, you know, we would be having these conversations. Now, this did not go unnoticed, of course.
So you said she, so was this a female energy
feel a he.
being
No.
or?
I feel a he. I
Yeah,
feel
okay.
but a young, not like an adult, a young child,
Okay,
playmate, a young
Yeah.
child. Yeah.
right,
So there was that. There was uh, there were beings coming in and out of my room. I knew there was stuff going on. I in kind of reverse fashion, I thought there was something odd or different about my family because they couldn't talk to stars or the sun or the trees, which was normal to me. Yeah, I had psychic abilities. I could hear my mother's thoughts. I could hear other people's thoughts. I was experiencing deja vu all the time. Young, very young. Yeah. I would stand on my tiptoes to look out the kitchen door so I could talk to the stars at night. And I was talking to the stars at night.
were
Now,
you getting responses?
yes, they were
Okay.
blinking at me, and sure. Yeah,
Interesting, okay,
sure. So there was beings that would meet me in the basement, strange, like cartoon beings out of Alice in Wonderland that would talk, but they look like that smoking caterpillar was one of them. I had a talking rat. I'm not kidding. These were real beings that I talked to, and it did not feel unusual to me. There were beings in my closet that scared me, but at night I couldn't wait to go to sleep because I would just get in bed and I would go flying, and I love to go flying. So but at night,
okay, so I'm just trying to get some perspective and for the listening audience. So you're suggesting that these beings that you were connecting with are you suggesting that they were spirit or were they off-world? Would you say they're off-world beings? I mean, what was your?
I do believe I had a lot of these characters were just spirits stepping in to the character to watch me, protect me, be my friend.
Okay.
Because my mom was going through a lot of difficulties. I was the oldest.
Yeah.
I was taking on a lot. I did take on a lot.
Yeah.
And I had 3 siblings, younger siblings. Well, at the age of 9, after we had been jumping in the car on weekends and going UFO hunting as a thing to do,
which wouldn't have been a common thing back in those days at all.
No,
I mean, you probably had
something...
your certain, you know,
you're talking the times around Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah.
Abduction. I'm in Massachusetts. There was a whole lot of sightings in New Hampshire. We also went to Maine. Wherever there was a sighting, my mom would let's go. And the 3 younger kids are in the way back of the station wagon, and my dad's driving, and he's just going along with this to keep my mom happy. And I'm there looking out the windows with my mom, looking for the spaceships. And that's what we did. And so when I was 9, question.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, so did your mom ever say to you that we come from
no,
or I come from another planetary system, or
no. At
I'm in
that point,
contact with, she never said any of that to you in the
no,
case, or try to
no,
explain what it is that, where she was taking you and for what she, why she was taking you and so forth? No?
no. She just had this fascination. As far as I know, she had no clue what was going on at that time. We
Right.
figured it out since we
Right.
figured it out. So
Okay.
when I was 9, a literal saucer ship landed in the backyard outside my bedroom window,
Okay.
30 feet outside in the backyard outside my window. And I woke up my 7-year-old sister. So I have the witness. And it was fascinating. I could see the beings in the window. It was saucer shaped. It had windows in the middle part, lights going around. It did have little thingies on the ground, and a dome. And so one of the beds, there were 3 girls in one bedroom. So one of the beds is up against those windows. And we're kneeling on the bed looking out the windows at this ship. And we were hypnotized, I guess. I could watch, we could watch, but we couldn't move. We couldn't call for my mother, which is all I wanted to do. Call for my mother, who's been looking for spaceships for years. And here's this ship in the backyard. But the feeling was not scary at all. It was a very calm feeling. Came over with the hypnosis, which we know, that's a thing. And it was 2 hours last time. When we were kind of released from this hypnosis, the ship just so fast, up and out. And I started screaming for my mother, ran down the hall to the front door of the house to run out the house screaming for my mother. And she didn't come, not right away. So she missed the whole thing. She's the one who always wanted, to see them. She missed the whole thing. In retrospect, I think she was perhaps having an experience and we were hypnotized. Not really sure. Not really sure what's up.
So okay, so did your brothers or I don't know, did you have a brother and a sister or 2 brothers?
I have 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay, so do they have memory of having experiences?
So my sister, my 7-year-old sister does have the memory of it.
Yeah, okay.
The others at this point, there's only coming around to believing it happened. My dad really never believed it happened. And it was just
because
one of those.
Yeah, it's common. Well, I mean, it's a common, seems to be a common I don't know if statistics is the right word, but evidently certain bloodlines and anomalies take place for abductions and contacts for certain bloodlines, basically is what I'm saying. And I'm just wondering, what is your blood? Where are you from? What is your nationality, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it's kind of mongrel. I've got France, French, Canadian French, County Kerry, Ireland.
Okay.
Armenian.
Okay.
There's a little Italian in there, which I think mixed with the Armenian. It was supposed to be a little German, although my sisters did those blood tests and it didn't show up. Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that may be why why do you think that you have had so much contact throughout since,
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm a starseed and my mom had the contract to bring through the starseed. As soon as we're born, probably even before we're born, there's eyes on us. They know. They know who we are. We get
That's
watched.
correct.
We
Yes.
get watched, but we also get protected.
Mhm.
Now, the situation after that with my mom was that she was having a nervous breakdown. She went to a psychiatrist, who convinced her that her dad had been abusing her. And I think because she was starting to have these memories.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that those memories were memories of being, on the ship, of doing the, what they do to bring through the star seeds, and by agreement, maybe even,
Mhm.
that she was having these memories, and the psychiatrist convinced her that it was memories of abuse, which caused horrific problems in the family.
Yeah.
And because of that diagnosis, she ended up institutionalized for quite a few years. I was only 13, and I became the head of the house at 13. In her later years, she did pass from dementia, but right before the dementia, her and I started talking about these things quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And that was a lot of relief for her, I think, and it was like someone I could talk to,
Yeah.
because in the family, really up until then, none of this was discussed with my family.
So do you have, are you aware of any gifts that you may have, any particular gifts that you use
Sure.
for contact, or are you able to use telepathy and connect with these beings? I
Sure.
mean,
Sure, I can still talk to the stars. Yeah, sure. I was very psychic, extremely psychic. And a problem I had with that in my 20s, I think, was that I knew when my son fell off his bike and smacked his head. I knew when my grandmother had a stroke. I knew, and I was, these things, and you're too far away to do anything. And it was right about that time I said, oh my God, take this away, take it away, because it was so difficult. But
stressful for
it
sure.
didn't go all
Yeah.
the way. It didn't go all the way. But other starseeds, other way showers that just continued on with this ability have done phenomenal work. It's psychic work.
So, okay, so you say way showers, and we're talking about people, just for those that might not understand the dialogue that we're having, people that have come before us that have paved the way for more of us that have awakened to share our stories, our experiences, our gifts, um,
Mhm.
and information that may be coming from off world, that maybe, or if you want to say off world, just information that maybe our DNA is, we've been able to tap into ancient information that maybe you might not find in a book today, although there's a lot of information out there, and some of it I definitely know from my own experiences that they are real happenings, and then there's some of it that I don't necessarily buy into, although I'm open to the possibility.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I
I
researched
just
all my
don't,
life.
yeah,
I was researching all my life.
yeah,
As even as a young teenager. But also these things would present themselves to me in such a way that I was reading the right material at the right time. That I was being guided. Not that I realized it so much, just that it was the way I lived. Oh, okay, this. I remember I was really young, and my mother had this huge library, and like family Bible. And it was my job to dust the shelves. I was young. And, you know, she would catch me not dusting the shelves because I was reading the Bible. I just started reading and I was reading the Bible. That was, you know, a
So
link.
do you, I don't mean to cut because you're, several things are coming. I definitely pick up information on people and I don't just volunteer it to them because some things are not meant to be. You have to respect other people's free will and their own divine experiences or divine sovereignty. They're right.
Sure.
So do you um do you practice religion or do you live a spiritual life?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to be clear because you bring up the Bible, so I'm just wondering.
Yes, but I've also learned how to read the Bible as a starseed and what it's
Right.
really
Okay,
about.
well,
And
I
it's
was getting
kind
ready
of
to get
like,
to that. Yes.
yeah,
So please elaborate on that.
it's like you're reading Bible code, but you're
Right.
reading it with memory of when this happened and when that happened and what it really is and what's metaphor and what's real. As a teenager, and we were raised Catholic. And I was involved with, I was, we had a church cheerleading squad for the basketball team, and I was a cheerleader. And I also went into the church quite a bit because my mother sang in the choir. So we were church family. It's like you went to church because my mother was in the choir, right? But when I would maybe after cheerleading practice walk in the church, doors would slam. I would hear banshees screaming. Stuff would happen. Stuff would happen. I knew this church it's beautiful now and bright, but it was very dark. And there was stuff going on there. And it was very old. And there was stuff going on there. And those kind of things, they did and they do still happen to me around cemeteries and stuff like that. Just the spirits see me. I see them, hear them. And the thing is, like I said earlier, they know us coming in and want to prevent our mission, right? So there's so much interference all my life until, you really get to this point where you're sovereign and you're free and you're above any kind of interference, no matter how hard they try. I just laugh at their attempts anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I definitely believe, yeah. I definitely believe that, yeah. Good for you, Pamela. That's fabulous. I love to hear that.
Recently, somebody said it recently, or I heard it in a movie or something like that, where they really can't hurt anybody. They can only make you believe that they can hurt you. Right? There certainly.
Well, what
in
they
my
do,
life, I've had devastating attacks.
Yeah.
Devastating. I've been in airplanes, and they've tried to flip the airplane over in storms more than once. That kind of attack, really,
wow.
because we are so important to coming in and making sure that this planetary evolution happens, because there's a schedule. There's a schedule. We've been through 225 million year cycle, and the cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles, and now it's time for this evolution. And
Well,
we
share
had to
more
get,
about that
to
because
get to Earth and get
what do you okay?
get
So
Earth on board.
our topic is our topic is the awake, or what was it? Now my mind's going blank. What the heck do we agree the topic
I think
was?
it was disclosure and then the
Dis-
awakening or
Yes,
something like that.
exactly. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was looking at my phone and my mind just went.
Yeah.
So,
So
so we are
disclosure,
the disclosure. Would you
we are
agree?
the disclosure.
That's right.
It's not about a spacecraft crashing in the 1940s,
Right.
you know, which is what the government would have you eating up right now.
Right.
You know, it's not
Right.
about that. The
Well, a lot of people
disclosure-
do. They are, because there's technology that can really
Sure.
get us moving in in a much more healthier
Advanced
timeline.
technology.
And
Sure.
direction. So
The advanced
people do.
technology that the
Yeah.
space programs have had, you know,
That's
50,
correct.
60 years, that they've been
That's
using
right.
50, 60 years. And
So,
you know,
so would
humanity hasn't had access to that.
Yeah.
But the real disclosure aside of that is more important. The disclosure that this planet is going through a dimensional shift, that the old world is falling away, has fallen away. It has no structure anymore. It has no glue. It's just one thing after another falling away. At the same time, this advanced technology is coming out. What's been kept back from humanity is a dimensional shift. This is a shift into an entirely new world. We're not continuing on with the old world. We're not fixing the old world. There is going to be an event. And every being on this planet is going to experience this event. Solar event. I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm
Yeah.
just responding to a message. I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So our sun right now is the ones watching and paying attention is showing all the signs that it time to go nova, which is a cyclical thing, is coming up. May not be in our lifetime, but it is coming up. That our planet is also adjusting. Every planet in our solar system is experiencing changes.
Okay.
And we've got right now another planetary tilt, and you can tell there's a tilt because weather's gone wild.
Yeah.
Weather's gone wild. You tilt the
Yeah.
planet, the lava moves, the lava comes up, the volcanoes, the earthquakes, the fires.
So let me ask you this, Pamela. Do you believe in the flat Earth theory? You don't believe in that, I guess.
I do and I don't.
Yeah,
Because
that
it's
I'm
both
kind of.
true.
Me too.
It's both true.
Yeah.
It depends on what dimension, what perspective you've got.
Yeah.
It's like, do rocks believe in flat Earth? Yes, because they're two-dimensional.
All right.
We have levels of inner Earth at all different kinds of planes of dimension, you know, that are experiencing their own dimension. And one thing we have to do is unify.
So do you
Oh.
what dimension do you believe that you've come incarnated? Like, do you have memory of different incarnations that you had and different planetary systems you lived on, or what star family do you, or star nation do you resonate with most, and that kind of thing? Like,
It's like I resonate with certain beings who are associated with certain planets, right?
okay.
And I resonate with material I've read and research I've done. I strongly resonate with Elohim, and and
So
the
when you say Elohim, who is
creation.
that to you? Who's
Elohim
the
are creators.
Okay.
Elohim are creators. I was told I'm one of the original creators of planet Earth. And so that makes me very, very, very old. and that's primarily the reason to be incarnated now. The Elohim were involved with almost all of the civilizations on Earth and the different DNA mixtures and races, keeping track of what races were incarnating on Earth, what races were mixing, a lot of DNA stuff, really.
Okay. Well, I asked that because I've been told my father was Elohim, and I definitely know that to be true. And I also know DNA that I hold in my family lineage from both parents, my mother and father's side, and I am bloodline, if you will.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
we're here
am
for a
one of
reason.
the originals for sure.
Yeah, we're here for a
If we
reason.
want to say originals, because I don't even like to really talk about I bring it up only for sake of being able to resonate with my guests and to be able to share information and help to ignite more memory if possible, and say I love you no matter what race you're from, right? Because there's this big stigma
Oh,
about Pleiadians and
oh my goodness
reptilians
gracious.
and
No, if we don't,
Dracos and all
that,
this stuff. And I was one of them, Pamela. I was
yeah,
very angry when I first woke up.
no,
When I first had I shouldn't say when I first woke up, because I definitely know that I came in awake and activated, but I was using trauma-based mind control programs to manipulate my direction of my life and um so forth. And they had, whether some would say we agreed to it prior to coming in. I don't know that that's fully true. I believe that there is truth to that, but I don't think that everything we agreed to. And we know that there are tricksters, or there has been a lot of manipulation going on. So it's hard to differentiate what we agreed to and what we didn't agree to. What we can do now is say, no, I take my power back, my sovereignty, and to the best of my ability, I stand in that every day as a sovereign being, and I can think and I can uh govern my own mind, body, and spirit, right? It's so important that people really get that, and choose to stand in your sovereignty every day, and operate from your heart space, which is not a difficult thing to do. Being kind, loving, compassionate, walking in integrity, being supportive and help, you know, extending a hand, a helping hand if you're able to. But we're not responsible to save anybody. I thought I was, I'll tell you that, for a long time, because I felt like what I experienced, nobody, there were very far and few between people that I was coming in contact with that were having the same experiences I was having, other than on Facebook or YouTube, like not in my real world, my
yeah,
physical world. So that was very challenging for me. But
yeah.
so yeah,
Well,
please
there was an
continue.
awful lot of disinformation
Well, of
regarding
course there is.
galactic,
Yes.
well, of course, the galactic war happened, but disinformation about the races as well.
Yeah.
At this point, we should all be, looking at forgiveness and unity and oneness, and every being,
Well, okay, so
was
what do you think?
sourced
So do
from.
you think that there's a bifurcation or a separation, like what Dolores Cannon talked about for so
Yes,
many years?
well, it's happening. It's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
Absolutely. But that's not a bad thing. That's not separating. That's for the population that's not aware of what's going on to not have to experience any more trauma or shock and awe. You know, we can handle it, but most of the population, the bifurcation is so that they will have this experience where there will be carefully introduced to true galactic history, true history of the planet. There, you know, these things that have been held back. At the same time, they'll be healing through the new technologies and being introduced eventually into galactic civilization.
Well, there
But-
are some that would suggest that there's going to be some that are going to, you know, go to a 3D planet and continue living their lives out as in the 3D so that they can have their experiences, you know, to
Yeah.
play out their lifetime with living in a 3D material world. They're not ready. They're not here for ascension. I mean, if we could appreciate that all souls, some have been, you know, doing this dance, so to speak, for millennia, then you have newer souls, younger souls that are here only for the 3D experience. And, you know, then there's others that say that there's going to be a lot of deaths due to this vaccination, and they're, you know, have agreed that that is going to be the way they exit by their own free will, their soul agreement, that that is their exit plan. So
Mhm.
what are your thoughts around all of that? And then we'll take a 5-minute break. If
Well,
you just want to respond.
basically, I'll go with that. I don't think this population will be moved to another 3D planet. I think it'll be 4D.
Okay.
Again, you know, with
Well, I know I operate in the
advances
4D now. I'm vibrating.
without the control system, you know,
Yeah.
without the manipulation.
Right.
It
Okay.
will be a less material world.
Yeah.
Obviously, every soul that incarnated kind of knew before we came in what we were coming in to and for. They even ones in the corporations or in jobs that some people might consider negative, you know, participation, are there for a reason, you know, to get to this point. So, you know, the soul knows.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, the soul always moves much more quicker than the body. Takes a long, well, it seems to be a long time to catch up to the soul. The soul is in a much more higher frequency, obviously, and moving at a different rate than the body. It takes time for us to catch up. The goal is to get ourselves balanced and whole within our being. And yes, I say to people, you know, just get grounded and do your, you know, I'm not a big meditator, but I do sit still and silent for moments at a time, sometimes minutes, sometimes a few minutes, not long periods of time. Cleaning is a form of meditation for me. Walking, prayer is always on the forefront of my mind, unless I'm, you know, caught up in my head. I am an Aquarius rising a moon, so I am very mental. I have a lot of air energy, so to speak. But I am a Leo, and I don't even, I'm at the point where I don't even really buy into that stuff anymore. Like when it comes to astrology and so forth, because so many things are changing, right? And
You know,
if we could, you're right. So
as old systems falling away, those so goes
well, it's still, I mean, it is
astrology.
falling
And so-
away, but we are still not where it would be nice. I mean, where we're headed, I'm very excited. I've experienced the 5th dimension. I can tell you that it's a most spectacular experience and frequency to vibrate in, because it's not out there somewhere. It's our level of conscious awareness and the vibration that we're holding. So anybody can tap into the fifth dimension anytime they want to, provided they're able to hold the frequency of it. The problem is most of us can't. We could go in and out. If we appreciate that we're multidimensional beings, we can tap into different frequencies, but whatever frequency we're holding as a dominant frequency is what we're vibrating at, right?
Correct.
So but I definitely, I experienced seeing the solar flares and a lot of other things. So I know that great things are happening, and you're a testament of that. I am, and so many others for sure. But I definitely don't feel that we are. So we'll get into this when we come back from the break. Where do you see humanity now, as far as our development, our spiritual development, versus technology, and with those that you're connected with? What is there any information that you've been given that maybe you could share with our audience that might be empowering to them and give some support, that kind of thing? So we're going to take a 5-minute break, or maybe 7. We'll come back at 8 o'clock. It's now 7:54. So on my computer, so about 6 minutes, if you want to get something to drink or anything else, and then we'll come back on at 8 and open the show back up and have a little bit more of a discussion on the future of humanity, or rather the here and now of humanity, right? Because we know there is no time, but what is it that you see us creating in this dream, so to speak?
Okay.
Is that fair? Okay. All right. I'll see you back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
but you're the reason I move on.
Welcome back, everyone. Again, I want to thank Miss Pamela Johnson for joining us today and allowing me to have this beautiful conversation with her and bringing information to all of you and just connecting in our heart space and knowing that we both have the same intention and desire, and that is to bring awareness, bring information to heighten people's awareness and to help those that are either newly awakening to know that there's so much love and support out there, not just here. There's plenty of platforms. I'm new at this, but I too have my story, as Pamela has hers, and so many others, and we do our best to make sense of it and to share what we can, as much detail as we can, so that people, that may resonate with the information know that they're not alone. Most importantly, and for people like Pamela that are ascension coaches, if you want to use that word, that do help guide people in their spiritual development and give them a support, the support they need. I mean, that's so important. I remember when I first woke up, I didn't have many people to really share my experiences with or try to make sense of it all. And it was during a dark night of the soul, which was really difficult for me. But so again, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you again, Pamela. So do you want to go ahead and we'll backtrack a little bit and talk about the future of humanity, or what do you think is coming for us? What is it, that we're dreaming up? Because I do know, or I believe this is my own perspective, that this is the dream. Our true self is in a higher dimension, kind of guiding us and navigating these avatars so that we can learn lessons, grow our soul, have our experiences, work out our uh, uh, karma, drama, and so forth. The drama of our karma, if you will. Not all karma is bad karma. We have good karma. When we do good deeds, good things happen for us, and that's not why we do them, but we do them because from our heart. But I always remind people that no matter what you think, Source always knows, the Creator always knows, the universe knows our pure intention, our true selves, and what our true intention is. So if people think that they want to put on a facade or wear a mask, everything is known. There's nothing hidden in our universe, absolutely nothing. Um, so I just, so when people have that kind of awareness, it makes you, not out of fear, but it makes you really consider, what am I focusing on? What is it that am I really coming from my heart? Or, if I'm feeling ill intentions towards somebody, am I doing something about it? Meaning, am I holding myself accountable and really, doing the inner work, the shadow work, if you will, to neutralize at least the emotions and the charge that we get from either being highly elated and excited, or super depressed, or anger, or all the different various, you know, ways of our emotions, how they affect us and so forth. Again, thank you, Pamela. Please go ahead. Whatever you'd like to share, whatever's on your heart.
Oh, well, not only how emotions affect us, but affect our Mother Earth, because we're one with
Well,
Mother
that
Earth.
absolutely, yes.
And right now, as we're going through this process of purification, um, all the layers of her emotional fields, and all the debris that's been left here from the fall after fall after fall, catastrophe after catastrophe, in her own body. Well, we're seeing it right now, the purification and the healing. And as we learn as a human race that our emotions are so intimately tied in with the health of the planets and the health of the collective as a whole. That's the important work, that is, like you say, that's the important work. And for each person to take responsibility
Absolutely.
and to realize we're one earth, one humanity, right? And what I do affects everybody. And that, if we're all getting into that mindset, much of the belief systems that we've had, lifetime after lifetime, or generation after generation, especially lately, have been sort of, forced on us in a way to control humanity.
Sure.
And so these are the things that are falling away and allowing people to take back their sovereignty. And there's no.
So what does that mean when you say take back your sovereignty? And I often say this to myself. What does that mean to you, Ida? What does it mean to be a sovereign being? What does that look like? How does that become? How does one stand in their sovereignty and really own that? What would you say, Pamela?
Well, I've been doing it a long time. I'll say extremely, like I stopped paying taxes 20 years ago, but that's extreme. Also, as a forerunner, and breaking down the boundaries and changing the templates, did that knowing that, take me to court. I'll talk. So nobody wants to take me to court. You can be sure.
Are you learned in that manner to be able to go into a courtroom on there? Because they, when we're talking about maritime law and law of the land,
Well,
it's two different languages.
I'm very learned in manifesting things.
Yeah. Okay.
I have changed federal laws.
Okay. That's why I'm asking you, because I am not learned, but I have come across information. I will never claim to be something, to have a knowledge about something I know nothing about, nor whatever claim to be something I'm not. Yeah.
You'd be surprised, because we are avatars, like you say, and we are channels of our higher selves. And if we are going to take on something for the good of the collective, you're going to get a lot of help.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that.
You're going to have a lot of backing, and it's going to happen. And this is something I learned.
Well, okay, so what do you think about the RV thing, Pamela? Do you believe there's an RV?
What? I got to tell you, again, coming from this, my own personal level of ascension, doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. Right. People can get very hung up on that, or maybe hung up that on get Trump back in office, or get hung up on just so many of the systems that belong to the old world that it becomes a distraction. And I say quite often, the devil is in the details. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what happens day to day right now to me. I know the outcome.
So what is the outcome?
I know the outcome. What is it? Well, it's been decided. It's our Earth, our Mother Earth, ascends to a fifth dimensional body, and will no longer host a third dimensional reality. Okay. And the old systems, they're just collapsing, imploding. They're taking each other out. They're taking each other. I can hear in Mexico, which a big thing is the drug dealers and the cartels. They're taking each other out. It's just wait, because the universe has this way of being perfect.
Well, it is. It's
Yeah.
definitely balanced at a higher perspective, a
Yeah.
higher frequency. It's always a perfect balance, but
Yeah.
not in this reality. Not where we're at right now.
But I don't live in
Uh,
the reality
yeah,
you're
yeah,
speaking. I don't on a daily basis. I do not.
yeah.
I live in this fifth dimensional reality where I literally um, create it, and things don't touch me from,
I appreciate that.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I definitely have had experiences in the fifth dimension, and it's much different than, you know,
yeah,
I was using telepathy and I was creating everything I was thinking.
yeah,
All the colors were different. It was much different than what I'm experiencing right now. But
yeah.
I do know that I went up and agreed to come back down.
I-
So,
Imagine everybody creating what they're thinking when the distorted belief systems are removed. So you're
well, the frequency for
creating.
instance has to be, that's the thing. I mean, so your body, I mean, and this is just my own perspective. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just from my level of understanding, and I'm always expanding that. So I never see myself as knowing it all, because you never arrive. I don't care who you are.
Not yet, not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, right. So
I
we
can't
are
wait.
always unveiling, and
Yeah,
right. So, but I do know that our frequency has to vibrate, and our consciousness has to be at a certain awareness level
yeah,
in order for us to experience what people would refer to as the fifth dimension.
right.
And we have to be able to maintain that frequency, and it's very
Right.
difficult to do that
But
for some.
the universe has your back.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Trust, have faith.
yeah.
Let's talk about space weather.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So I've been following space weather for a long time,
Okay.
and space weather to do with our spiritual evolution, because it's all coming from source, and the DNA changes we're going to experience
Hmm.
are encoded into the plasma that we receive from our sun. Now those codes are delivered to the sun through central sun electrical circuits, all the way back to the great central sun.
Hmm.
And then where Elohim or creator beings, whoever, are taking charge of this process. We've been receiving, before 2012, I was working with the Galactics. I don't know how long before 2012. That time is really messed up for me now. But I was working with Galactics and with ships to test how much of this energy could be experienced on the planet without frying the planet, without frying people.
Right.
The frequency,
Sure.
right? Right. And the ships have been out there, many, many, many humongous planetary sized motherships. This energy was coming from source, but they were buffering the energy so that it wouldn't come all at once. Now, some planets got taken out from this energy, but they're not inhabited. Earth, of course, is like the crown jewel of the universe right now, and a whole lot of help is out there. So they're buffering, these ships are buffering the energy. How much is humanity ready for now? How much? Because as all the energy is encoded. So in 20 years ago or whatever, it was for purification purposes. Over the years, the kinds of encodement in the energies has changed. until we got to this point where it's for the DNA, the literal DNA opening up and evolution. So I was a test subject, and I would get this like buzz in the air, and okay, we're going to have this, and I would feel the frequency. I'm not the only one. I know there are others out there who were, I call the test subjects, and we would feel this incredibly high frequency in the body, but not freaking out because I knew what was happening. And at times the energy was so too much, I would start levitating. And several times I would be on the bed. Several times I levitated or felt like I was going to leave my body, and I would just too much. And so this process I was part of, where now floodgates are open, 100%, and we're receiving the most incredibly beautiful energy. We've, with all of the Stargate alignments we've done over these years,
Mhm.
and you know, the grid work, I even did a number of like exorcisms. I tend to release souls places I go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to unmask.
Yeah.
And this energy we're receiving is just so beautiful. 2 days ago, it's like, Mother God is wrapping me in a blanket, and all I feel is love. And I know that when we have this big solar event, that's what it's going to feel like. And you had mentioned you've experienced it, maybe in lucid dreams or.
I experienced,
What I have.
yeah. I experienced what I experienced. I saw pulses of light, and I mean powerful. Well, I can see it in my mind's eye right now, what I experienced. It was quite, there's really no words to put it in. I'll do my
It's
best to
hard.
explain it, but it was just, I remember being by a body of water and people were swimming, and I made a comment, how's the water? Because the sky was gray.
Mm-hmm.
And it was warm though, but it was just a gray sky. It wasn't really sunny. And he was like, oh, it's beautiful. Come on in. And as he was saying that, the whole sky lit up. So of course, it's your natural instinct. It was mine to look up because just everything got bright. So I looked up to see where this brightness was coming from. And there was pounding pulses of light just shooting out of the sun, like just pow. I mean, it was so amazing. It was truly amazing. And I just watched in awe, and then I came out of that.
Do you remember how it felt for you?
It was
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
It
how
is. It really is hard to
beautiful.
explain. It
So,
was.
When you experienced it, I know for me, and one of the times I experienced it, I just started flying again.
Yeah.
Like I did when I was a child. I took off and I was flying again. I was just so excited. And this feeling of love is overwhelming.
Sure.
When you've experienced this in lucid dreaming, it's like, I can't be afraid of anything because I know this wonderful thing's happening. And this wonderful, in 2012, I used to try to explain this to people because they were asking me. And that, you know, everyone will experience this, but not everyone will understand it, right? And some people, they'll have this wonderful experience of love and then just think, oh, I must have been dreaming, you know, and it's gone and it's
Well, they
over.
wouldn't be
and it
able to,
was-
I don't know that everybody would be able to perceive it, because if they're,
I think everyone will feel it.
they may
It's a
feel it, but
solar
they
event.
won't understand what they're feeling, like you're
Exactly.
saying. So they
Exactly.
won't be able to perceive it. They won't be able to maybe differentiate,
Mm.
okay, this, this is a happening,
Right.
and I'm gonna go
So-
with it. Most people would resist it out of fear, not understanding.
Okay.
'Cause I'll tell you
so-
this, Pamela,
Right.
people fear their own life. I
So
did.
that brings us back
Yeah.
to the point you made earlier.
Yeah.
And we don't want shock and awe and trauma. We're trying to heal a whole lot of trauma. And so how many will take the exit before the event? How many will be relocated before the event? It has been my
Oh, Pamela,
On
I
my
don't,
mind.
I'm not an event person at all. It's already
Yeah.
happened. I don't
Yeah,
believe
don't-
it's in the future. I believe it's already taken
Oh,
place.
it's happening. It's
Yeah, yeah.
happening. I can tell you it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there, I have, since the 90s, felt that there may be a mass evacuation of the planet.
Okay.
And that was so that people who are not ready would not get fried from this increasing frequency, this increasing events which have started. I can't tell you, if that's going to happen, but if I have to be honest, that's what I think.
Okay.
will
Fair
happen.
enough. I mean, I'm surely, when I just made that comment, I'm not telling you, I hope you're not taking it that way.
No, I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
saying you're
what,
wrong. I'm saying I'm
Yeah.
not a person that I just don't, my way of seeing it is a bit different than maybe some. I don't believe there's an event. I believe there's many events. There are many
yeah,
happenings that take place that lead up to a more higher frequency of living and
Mhm.
unity and wholeness. But I don't, I'm not one of these people that think, the goal is that we unite as a human family, that we learn to get along, and so that we can heal the things that need to be healed within our own self, and the relationship we have with our own I am presence, our own soul source self, right?
Yeah.
Because we are
Mhm.
that as I am, that number one. So self-actualize,
embodiment,
right? And
embodiment
then
of higher self.
but right, and then respecting and understanding that we are not alone, and that what we refer to as aliens out there is actually aspects of ourself that are here, and memories that our DNA being activated, maybe having memories or anomalies, things take place that we're playing out different things in different timelines or dimensions. But we definitely need to figure out the game plan here and how to get along and coexist, because I don't know how anybody, just in common sense, expects that we'll have a galactic presence, if you will, if we don't know how to get along here.
Correct.
So, and then if we want to say as above, so below, everything that's happening there is happening here. It's not out there somewhere. So it's kind of this, mixture of different awarenesses, understandings, or understandings, so forth, so on.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Yeah,
The
so
awareness I have of the space weather,
well, yeah,
not just me, the scientific community,
sure.
it's already known that this activity on the sun is increasing, increasing, increasing. The
Yeah,
scientific community does not, however, associate that with the codes from
right,
source,
okay, I get it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it is.
Well, Lisa Renee, are you familiar with Lisa
Oh,
Renee and
love
her
her.
work?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, love her.
So, yeah, I don't really understand codes per se. I mean, I understand, but I don't really like, I don't, what's the word? Um, comprehend really the understand. I don't get it. I get it in my heart space, but as far as my mind, it's hard to really comprehend. But I
Mm,
don't resist it because I know it feels right in my heart. So I know it's a real thing or a
mm,
real, you know, light codes and DNA codes and
yeah.
genetic codes and all this. Because I definitely, if we understand scientifically, there's nothing solid in the world. If we even give any, credit to that or belief in that, then we understand that life is fluid and we are particles of stardust. And so there's so
Plasma.
many different ways to be able to look at this. Yeah. To look at,
The plasma that we're seeing um, coming into our uh, atmosphere now, that is coming in because the magnetosphere that surrounds Earth is getting weaker and weaker. So more of these solar codes are coming in.
well, I think
Or,
yeah. Do you think that there are reasons for that?
yeah,
Like, meaning, okay, I know that, but I'm saying, do you think that we're getting assistance in having because I know that there's been a grid over the planet to
yeah,
prevent anything from outside coming in.
ain't working anymore.
Well, maybe not. I mean, I think
Not
our
working
government, our
anymore.
military plays a big part in a lot of the contacts and abduction. I don't think I have a lot of different thoughts about that, but anyways. All
No,
right, Miss Pamela, we're,
sure. Many,
yeah,
many of my abductions were my labs,
yeah,
military.
yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are at 8:29. I could talk to you for
We could, we
hours,
could.
for sure. And I definitely would love to have you come back on. Maybe in a couple months we can see what's going on, see how, maybe in the fall I'll be able to invite you back if you'd be interested, and we'll see, what happens between now and then. I definitely believe, well, we have the 4th of July here in the United States.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming up on Sunday. And, from my understanding, I think it's the 4th of July and the 4th of January. Now, I could have my dates a little bit off, maybe, but those are the 2 days that the sun is closest to the earth. So, yeah, I've come across that information. Don't ask me to tell you where I got it from, but I remember
Okay.
hearing it. And you could do your own research, of course, if you're interested. But
That would be interesting.
yeah, I definitely no.
We have on Sunday, there is the solar wind arriving from an ejection from the sun. So an ejection of plasma from the sun that happened day before yesterday or yesterday, it arrives Sunday to Earth filled with codes. The timing, this is all divinely perfect.
That's what I say, divinely orchestrated, and yes, it is.
We call them,
and we are co-creating it ourselves. So it's not something out there doing it.
We are out there.
Yeah,
we are out there.
Okay, we could. But as a collective consciousness, I think more people are moving into their heart space and really wanting to, join and gather. And I think on a whole, we all have a common interest, and that is to love and be loved.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. And, that we will get through this, whatever, whatever things that are taking place in this timeline dimension, this 340, 5D, that what we are experiencing, those that are here to hold fast, have faith and trust, will make it through, because I think our personal will is more powerful than anything. So if you have the will and the drive and the tenacity and the absolute trust in knowing that you're here for a bigger purpose and for this, and to make it this time, because I mean, how many times from my understanding we've done this, like, I don't know what, 5, 6 times, and we did not pass go, and this time we have.
Yeah, we
And
have.
that is huge.
Yeah, we have.
And I'm super excited, and I get excited. I get very
It's very exciting.
charged. Yeah,
It's
it
very
is exciting.
And let's
And more
try-
importantly, for the youngins, the kids, the
Oh,
babies.
they're wonderful. They're
Yeah,
coming
the crystal. They're coming
They're
in.
coming in good to go.
Yeah,
And, yeah. Let's remember, we're not alone. We're not doing this on our own. Well, this aspect of ourselves incarnated into this physical body has always been connected to our higher aspect
Mm-hmm.
with us all the way. I get out of my own way and I allow this intuition to guide me. It is us. So we don't feel so much alone and like in the head.
Yeah, it's easy to. I can admit that I've been, if I want to use the word guilty of that I've definitely been in my head a lot.
Yeah, it's
On and
trust.
off. I go in and out. There's times when I'm really grounded and in my heart space, and then I get to thinking about certain things, and it takes me off to the races, and but I definitely know how. I may have the tools to pull myself back into my heart space and to not get so out there somewhere that I'm not able to be grounded and really experience the here and now, and not be too far ahead or in the past.
Only in the present.
Yeah, I do my best. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm much further along than I used to be.
Live in
For
the
sure.
present.
Yeah.
And these codes, right? They heal the heart.
Yeah.
They really do. They're healing the heart. They're healing the human.
I could say it. It's no, it's not about being a victim. It's, we have been victimized, but ultimately, once you know better, you do better, as Maya Angelou said, and I'm a firm believer of it. There were times when I did know better, and I didn't know how to do better. Like, I knew better, but I didn't know how to do. Like, every time I would get a few steps forward, I would fall back 5 or whatever. It was just a constant replay of, and I know that they had us in a loop. I know that.
Yes.
And I know, yeah. So,
Thank you.
but
But you know what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not, let's
No,
not
it doesn't.
judge
You're right.
ourselves. It doesn't matter. We're not judging ourselves. Truly, when you get down to it, we're just a part of God, observing parts of himself with love, no judgment.
Yeah.
Everything we've done. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good, and it's going
You
to be
said
great.
himself, and I think that's an interesting statement, because some of us.
Oh,
would
well,
say
you had to
yourself.
pick a
Yeah.
word. I had to
Yeah.
pick a word.
I get it. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna. Is there any last statements that you want to make, like before we end the show? Anything that you want to share with the audience before you go? And your contact information, if you want to.
Facebook, just
Yeah.
Facebook, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Join the conversations. We really get
I definitely
a lot
highly
of support from each other in the
Yes.
commenting back and forth
Yes.
and helping.
Well, next time we connect, the next time I bring you on the show, I would be honored to have you again. I would love to really focus on the weather patterns and the anomalies that you're talking about with the space weather and so
Yes.
forth, because I don't think people hear too much about that. I mean, I definitely am not learning in that uh
Yeah.
topic, so to speak. I don't know much about, you know,
There is
sun.
a wonderful book called Tuning the Diamonds.
Mhm. Tuning the diamonds.
Susan Joy Renison. I'm not sure if it's available on Amazon. It's something I read long ago. It's a wonderful book about space weather and spiritual evolution.
Okay, tuning the diamonds. I'm going to look that up for myself.
Yeah.
So those of you that are listening, or those that will be listening when I upload to YouTube, definitely look it up if you're interested in these topics and this information. I hope that this uh, information has been valuable to those that are listening, and this has been more of a discussion than necessarily a, you know, interview. I really enjoyed talking with you, and
Thank you, sister.
yes, Pamela, you're
Thank
such a
you.
light for so many of us.
Thank you.
You are definitely a way shower for, you know, the spiritual communities and the awakened community. And, you know, I look forward to seeing your posts. There's so many times that I've read your posts and it just is a wow, like this is
Good.
amazing. And it gets me excited.
They
You know,
wow me too.
yes. So,
I'm
uh,
very excited.
yeah, I want to thank you again. Thank you for being a guest, and we'll get this uploaded. Once Katie sends me the link, we'll get it uploaded to Facebook.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah,
Thank you.
she should be able to hear you. She's usually
Okay.
that's the producer. Everyone, if everybody's wondering who Katie Kamara is, she's a fabulous producer. She's definitely helped me with, you know, because I'm not technically savvy at all. I kind of hit buttons and work my way around, but she definitely has been very helpful to me. There you go. She's put you're welcome in the comments below, and we appreciate you, Katie, and we'll have you back on in a
Okie
couple
dokie,
months,
hon.
Pamela, if you're interested. But we'll definitely keep in touch through Facebook. Anybody that's interested
Yeah.
in learning more about the work that Pamela does, please find her, Pamela Johnson, on Facebook, and reach out to her. Yes.
And
a
happy
wonderful night.
July.
Yes.
This is
thank-
our Freedom Month.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
This is our Freedom
Claim it.
Month.
Well, I do know there's a lot happening in July.
Absolutely.
I feel it more
Yep.
than, you know, there's so much happening in July. I mean,
Absolutely.
anybody that knows just minimal about, you know, like astrology and new moons and full
Crazy.
moons and full moon in Capricorn, and there's a
Yes,
lot
crazy
happening.
perfect. Crazy perfect. Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited
Great.
for life.
All
I
right.
wake up every day saying, yes, I'm ready.
All right.
Yep. Have a great night. Thank you again.
you.
And I will talk.
Wonderful. Thank
soon.
you so much.
Thank you, Miss Pamela. Have a good night. Much
Much
love.
love.
Thank